Hello everyone, today I would like to explain the respiratory physiology. What is respiration? That is a question we ask all the time. Respiration. And what is ventilation? You see, they are not so different, yet they are not the same. Respiration is both external and internal respiration. Respiration means the exchange of gas between the atmosphere and the cells. It's the whole process, including all the other processes. Now, external respiration presents ventilation. What is ventilation? Ventilation is the exchange of gas between the atmosphere and the lungs. Furthermore, external respiration presents also the exchange of gas between the alveoli and the capillaries. Furthermore, it presents the gas carried in the blood. And last but not least, it presents the gas that enters tissues. At this point, we've got the external. Now, the internal respiration is very simple, yet not so simple. It presents the exchange of gas within the cell. Thus, hence we have internal, with its ribosomes, mitochondria, and so on. At this moment, oxygen is within the cell. It is exchanged, and at the mitochondria, oxidative metabolism gives rise to ATP, energy in other words. Alright, what about the waste products? Well, waste products need to be disposed of. Carbon dioxide, because these products eventually, carbon dioxide, unites with water within the cell and gives rise to carbonic acid. Carbonic acid in its turn gives rise to bicarbonate, because it dissociates. And hydrogen. Why? Because hydrogen increase is because of carbon dioxide increase. Hydrogen leads to acidosis I mean. Yes, acidosis. Sorry. Alright, so to understand the function of the respiratory system, we must understand the structure. That means everything about everything. No, not really, just the structure. What does it look like? Well, first we start from the trachea. Of course, we go through the pharynx, nasopharynx, from the nasal cavity, nasopharynx, and so on. We reach larynx, from larynx we reach the trachea. Trachea presents cartilage rings, which are important, and we shall know later why. Hopefully. Then from the trachea extend the bronchi. two bronchi. These bronchi also present cartilage. The bronchi in their turn will form bronchioles. They will give rise to the bronchioles. The bronchioles do not present cartilage, they present only smooth muscles, and thus we are able to control them, to regulate the respiration through bronchoconstriction and bronchodilation. Alright. Now these bronchioles will give rise to respiratory and then terminal bronchioles. The terminal bronchioles in their turn shall give rise to alveolar sacs. The alveolar sacs present multiple alveoli. An alveolus is formed by two types of cells. The first type of cells are pneumocytes type 1, and these are the most abundant. They are stratified squamous epithelium, in other words endothelium. The other type of cells are the least abundant but cover a larger surface area. These are known as pneumocytes type 2, and they are less abundant. These produce a substance known as the surfactant. This substance, the surfactant, is important because it prevents the collapse of the alveoli. Well, how come? Why would they collapse? Well, basically you've got surface tension. The liquid molecules present at the interface these so-called cohesive forces. They tend to present cohesive forces. These cohesive forces are cancelled by the surfactant, which presents on one part a hydrophobic part, and on the other part presents a hydrophilic part towards the liquid, and so it keeps the alveoli from collapsing. Alright, so that would be the whole structure, and from here on we can say that we've got a respiratory unit that starts from the bronchioles, respiratory unit, the respiratory unit from the bronchioles, and whatever is above is known as the anatomical It's known as the anatomical conduction or conductory unit, because it's not involved with respiration, it's just a part of conduction. The part that is involved with respiration, where all the action takes place, is the respiratory unit. In the throughout the respiratory system, at the conductory part, what distinguishes this conductory part from the respiratory unit is the fact that it's got a different epithelium. It's a respiratory epithelium. This respiratory epithelium is actually a pseudo-stratified epithelium, while in the respiratory unit it starts to become cuboidal and it starts to variate mostly in the continuing other parts, but does not stay as a pseudo-stratified. Also in the conductory unit, you've got a high resistance to the passage of air, to airflow. This high resistance is the reason it is important, because it prevents foreign bodies to go in, because it creates a certain turbulence within the trachea and the conductory part. It also presents submucous. It presents also submucous glands. These submucous glands are important because they secrete mucus, though they are fatal in some asthmatic patients because they lead to asthma. So they are of real benefit though. Asthma increased. This is one of the cases though. It's not necessarily the reason. It's one of the reasons. There are multiple factors involved. Either way, this isn't the topic, so I was just saying increased mucus. But it also presents cilia that beat towards the cranidae. Cilia, finger-like processes on the cells. So this is a cell and it presents these cilia. This is what it looks like. So that will be all about the conductory part and the respiratory unit. Next, hopefully, we'll be explaining how the actual exchange takes place, but we will also explain the volumes and their significance. Thank you. See you next time.